It's a big monster truck. They say it's a 10th scale, but come on. That's not a 10th scale, that's an 8th scale. So it's not a race truck because it has no adjustability. Great-great-grandfather of the current Rustler. It's really cool. I'm glad that I kept it. Welcome to Netcruzer's vlog, December 2017. Last month of the year, did it. Every month. This time, what we're going to do is talk about all my RC cars. I bought a lot of cars this year. Let's get into it. Start with the Traxxas Slash 4x4. Good old Slashy. So my Traxxas Slash 4x4 I bought in 2016, and I've done significant mods to it and hopped it up a bit for racing. I race it and I bash it. This is the model that has the low center of gravity chassis, as well as it has onboard audio, TSM. If you're looking to get into a short course truck, something that you can bash around with and is good enough for racing, get one of the ones with the low center of gravity chassis. It's actually the kind of the rally chassis, and it's a good design choice for bashing and racing. It does have some weak points though. The axles are plastic, so you do go through a lot of axles if you're bashing on 3S. They hold up perfectly well if you're racing on 2S. I have no problems with that. I have upgraded the shocks to the GTR style. I did not enjoy that upgrade. This car originally came with the plastic Ultra shocks. I've upgraded it to the GTR aluminums. Everything's very dirty now. I should talk about that as well, why my cars are dirty. But I had to upgrade the springs to VG Racing springs. I have a VG Racing chassis brace. I added a cooling fan to the ESC. I'm running the stock electronics, the Valinion 3S system, and then completely beefing up the slipper system to the HDE Revo style. The rest of it is fairly stock. Anyway, I've made over 30 videos on the Traxxas Slash, so go take a look at my playlist on that. Really enjoy this truck, and I raced it all this year in 2017. Actually, I won second place short course with that Slash 2017. So that's great. Right now the Slash has paddle tires on it, and I did that just because it's wintertime and I'm going to be out bashing this all winter. And while I have finished up 2 racing years with this car, I just raced a little bit at the end of 2016. I raced this all of 2017. Every single week, at least one race. So it held up very well through all of that, but it's not a race car. So it's not a race truck because it has no adjustability. You can't do arm sweep. It's all fixed positioning, right? It's just a basic plastic chassis, and there is no adjustability here for how your suspension setup goes. As for arm geometry, it's all fixed. So I do have news about what I'm going to be racing for short course for 2018, but we'll get into that later in this video. The Traxxas Slash is what I like to call my chameleon RC because you can make it do so much different things and make it look so different. So I have the original body with the onboard audio. Very cool feature, the onboard audio shakes the body shell and makes that rumbly noise like a real 900 horsepower truck. This is very heavy because it has the speakers, and I bashed the crap out of it, so I've added a lot of reinforcement. Too heavy to race with. So I have a lighter weight racing shell. That again is very dirty, not been cleaned or anything, but this is just a normal Slash shell, been used for racing all this year. Any short course body will work, as well as the Slash platform or any short course has many different body options, and I have my Baja Bug that I painted up last year, which I'm really happy with as well. This is a great setup for ripping around in the snow because the wheels are outside of the body and you don't get as much snow compacted on the inside. Alright, that's enough on the Traxxas Slash. We got a lot of cars to cover. Let's keep moving on. Alright, now let's talk about the RC that kind of started my channel. The Summit. The Traxxas Summit. I bought this in 2012. It's over 5 years old now. And some of you may be sad to learn that it's still very much stock. But the way this vehicle is designed, I don't really think that it's going to handle a brushless upgrade very well, so I did decide to keep it stock. I love this exo cage design on the Traxxas Summit. Really awesome Jeep style body with lights. I added the upper light cage, but it does not come with, just comes with faux ones up there, but I added the upper light cage. But the Summit comes with front and rear lights. And the Summit has the unique cantilever style shocks, right? It's a big monster truck. They say it's a 10th scale, but come on. That's not a 10th scale, that's an 8th scale. Really, really awesome soft tires. I think I do need to re-glue some of them, but these tires are the originals. They're over 5 years old. They're amazing in snow. I'm still on the stock servos, so I would like to upgrade those. Those are getting very weak now. It has the 2-speed transmission and it has diff lock. Like the new modern TRX4, this is the one that started it, where it came out with those features first. Really awesome. Everything still works. 5 years old. The only thing that's recently happened to it is I finally burnt out the motor, and that was from running around the track at my local racetrack. I guess I got it too hot that day, and ever since then, motor KO'd. Recently replaced it with a new Titan 775 brushed motor, and $20 to replace it. Not worth it to me to go to an upgraded brushless system when you can get a new motor for 20 bucks. Speed rise, it's probably around 25 to 30 miles an hour the way it's set up right now. I've done some mild gearing increases. And the other stuff I've done to it over the years is mostly just strengthening it to keep it together. So I did put in a new center metal drive shaft a long time ago. As well as I had to shim the front and rear diffs. Something about the e-Revos, if you have them, very much known for blowing up the diffs because there's too much play in them. So you get 4S power, or if you have a brushless e-Revo, you're blowing 6S power through it. They can't handle that. It just explodes the gears. So put some shims in your diffs, and it's been very good ever since. Really love this truck. The one downside to it that I don't like is if you're playing in the winter, this battery tray system is very hard to get open with your frozen fingers. You would think it's so simple, right? It seems so simple. Trying to get that clip undone when it's jammed full of ice and snow is a nightmare. Enough about the Summit, and let's keep moving on. You recording? Yeah, you've been recording for 7 minutes. Showing you the Traxxas Slash and the Traxxas Summit, and those are my two oldest RCs that I currently use all the time. Everything else that I'm going to show you, I think I bought this year, 2017. Yeah, I went on a little bit of a buying spree in 2017. I have two older vintage cars that I'll show you later. But for right now, let's just keep going in the order that I bought them. February, I think, around February 2017, the JLB Cheetah. Direct from China. I got it from GearBest, I think. And I'm going to try and go over it fairly quickly. Oh, I don't have the battery in it. The thing is, it's a mega value. It's gone up because of the popularity of YouTubers showing this vehicle. It has gone up in price significantly, but I think it goes for around like 300, 350 now, more. I think it's closer to the 400. I'm talking Canadian money. I think it's around the $400 range now if you buy the new Extreme version. This is the OG Cheetah, the original one, 11101. Now there's the 21101, and now there's the J3 Speed. So there's about 5 different versions of this out there because of the different power systems that it has. This has the original no-name JLB racing system in it. It's 2500 kV with a no-name ESC that I have added extra waterproofing to the ESC. I'm still using the original radio system, still using the original servo, and I've bashed it, probably had maybe 6 or 7 mild bashes with it. It's held up okay, but it does have some geometry issues and some flaws that I want to talk about. The two things that have broke the most have been this rear inside camber link, and I have had to replace those with a Traxxas part that I reamed out, and ever since I did that, they've been fine. They have not broken since. Because the front and rear of this vehicle is exactly the same. The way, well, maybe not exactly, but it's very similarly built front and rear. Let me just talk about some of the good things and some of the bad things. The good things are the build quality, and the bad things are the build design. So build quality is good. You've got metal on the rear chassis. All the plastics seem to be pretty good. I thought the metals were okay, but now I've recently just torqued and bent this rear shock tower. I have bent it back now where you can't really tell. But the bad things is just the stability and controllability of this vehicle is difficult. It does not come with these tires. This is an upgrade I put on Badlands. It comes with these. Comes with these tractor tread chevron tires. They look really cool. They don't perform very well. The other issue is wheel slop, right? Look at the wheel slop on this. And that one's really bad. That's been improved by me working on it. It gets to the point where it's really bad, like a lot of play. It turns out it seems to be the wheel hexes. The wheel hexes are made out of like a soft metal that degrades and wears out very easily. It does use a pillow ball system front and rear. That's what I was talking about, where it's very similarly designed, so it has pillow balls, and they get out of alignment, they get loose. There's, you know, there's stuff that you can deal with that. But the other issue is shocks, right? I've always found that it was oversprung and underdampened. It almost feels like there's very little to no oil in there, or if there is oil, it's very light. You're gonna cringe at this, but I've never been able to get inside the shocks of this vehicle because they don't put a flat spot on the body. So you take the shock off and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get into the shock. There's no place to put a wrench on here. And I don't want to put a wrench on the threads and muck them up. So, you know, for a China basher, I've just said, screw it. It's not worth my aggravation of trying to get the shocks open. So I just left it. If you have a method to get Cheetah shocks open, please let me know. I still think the Cheetah is an excellent value. If you are going to buy one, I do highly recommend you get the Extreme version, because the Extreme version uses real hobby wing ESC motor, and that alone is worth around 200 bucks, 150 to 200 bucks in a power system. So buy the Extreme edition. You're getting a decent basher and a really good 8-scale system that you could put in something else later on. This vehicle also comes with LEDs, and it also comes with a 3S hardcase LiPo. Really cool, but like I said, it has some annoying issues. Once you start living with it and working on it, yeah, it has some design problems that I don't like. Let's keep moving on. Racing cars. I like to race. That's part of my biggest part of RC is RC competitive racing. So race cars. Down in here I have a retired race car. It is my, oh, here's all my manuals. Let's get the manuals out of there for a second. Down here is a retired race car. Schumacher Cat SX2, 2010 to 2011 era vehicle. Doesn't have a wing on it right now because the wing's all smashed up. Actually, it's not true. The wing has been transferred over to another buggy that I'll show you that replaced this one. Schumacher Cat SX2. Loved this car. Really, it really has a soft spot in my heart. I don't know why. It just really does. I raced it from approximately 2011 all the way up to 2017. And I raced it on indoor on Astro and outdoor on dirt. Really liked it. It's all carbon fiber up and bottom. It's, you know, it's full race spec, right? Mid-motor design, 4-wheel drive. It's a triple belt 4-wheel drive. It has a really complicated, you know, steering system. That's one of the things that has been improved a lot is the steering, the drivetrain loss in the newer ones. But overall, I just really liked this car. I had it set up with a Lexan under tray with a help for racing and marshalling. I really liked how the body was completely sealed, top and bottom Lexan clamshell with a narrow chassis. It ran on a normal long stick pack battery. Was very happy with this car. But it got to the point where it really just couldn't compete anymore. Everyone else was much faster than it. It does have a lot of slop in the steering, as well as it was getting to the point where now I've worn out completely both pulleys and you can't get parts for this anymore. At least I couldn't find them. So it has a lot of weird vibrations and skips teeth, and I was worried about blowing a belt as well because you can't really get the belts anymore either. So I decided that I saw another Schumacher come up as used and I decided to replace it. Let me show you that one. Alright, we replaced it with the Schumacher Cat K1 Aero. This is a really cool car too, although it didn't give me that same kind of emotional feeling that the original Cat SX2 did. Yeah, it just didn't really do it for me for some reason. I did race this for most of the 2017 season on a clay outdoor dirt track. Compared to the SX2, it does have a much refined steering system geometry. It's a wider chassis. It's a much more balanced design where the motor is almost to the front. The motor is right smack dab in the middle. On the SX2, the motor was here, where it's still called a mid motor, but it was more like rear 3/4. Instead of a long stick pack along the one side, this vehicle runs saddle packs. I do not like saddle packs. They're a pain in the ass. You know, for a couple years they were popular. Now they've run it a favor and now everything is shorty packs. This I'm running a 6.5 turn LRP motor, a Speed Passion, an ESC, a Savox 1250 something or other. Yeah, Savox 1258 servo, a Traxxas radio system. You're again a cringeworthy thing for the people who are competitive racers, but I race with Traxxas radio. It works for me, and I have the Bluetooth link in the app, so I can do all the fancy stuff that the $500 radios can do, and I'm happy with my Traxxas Ready to Run radio with the app. Extra big bore shocks compared to the SX2. Shocks are better. Handling is better, although I found this car to be very twitchy, where it would really dance around a lot on you. Extreme steering, like I've never experienced a car that had such amazing steering, but almost to the point where it's too much steering. Dirty. Why are my cars dirty? Well, it's not just laziness, guys. Part of it has to do with where I live, and I'm in the country and I'm on a well and my water is salty. Unwilling to just hose down my cars with water because they'll rust, and I get to the point where I would rather just leave them dirty than be hosing them down with like salt water and then having to deal with the corrosion issues. I don't really have a big excuse for the tires. You know, I could take the tires off and clean them, but even then I'm still using my salty water and I don't like it, so I just leave them dirty. And then when they get run, I'll go clean them at the track, or they'll get cleaned just by use. Not ideal, I know. Just a quick mention about this buggy. It held up pretty well for me. It does. I was disappointed that after it was SX2, SX3, K1, K1 Aero. So this car is 4 generations newer than my SX2, and it still used the same kind of weird, different sized pins on the rear, like it has a big screw back and a small screw front, or vice versa, that they've flipped in generations. It just has weird oddities that I don't like, and flaws that I thought would have been resolved are still there. Great car, but yeah, I'm ready to move on to a different brand. So let me show you that. Well, if you've been watching my videos, you already know what that's going to be. So that's the new Tekno EB410, brand new kit. I need to build it. I don't really have much else to say other than where I got it from. If you're looking for one of these, check out Grumpy's RC Garage. They still have them in stock, and right now there's free shipping. It's right around Christmas time right now, a couple days before Christmas. And if you're looking for a Tekno car or truck, take a look at them. www.grumpysrcgarage.com. So come the new year, or just over this holiday break, I am going to be trying to build out this new EB410. I have not built out a new kit in 20 years, and I've been trying to clean up my pit area and get my cars ready for that. But let's keep moving on. You're going to see more of this when I start to build it. Let's keep moving. All right, so that's my 4-wheel drive racing program. So typically I race short course truck, 4-wheel drive buggy mod, and I've recently got into 8 scale. So let me show you my 8 scale buggy. If you've been watching my channel, you know what that is. Arrma Typhon. Yeah, the Arrma Typhon. This is the version 2 2017 model. Let me show you a bit more about it and what I've done to it. Alright, so this is the V2 model, so it comes with the Hobby Wing rebranded ESC and motor. It's a 2050 kV motor, a really nice 8-scale ESC that can support 3S, 4S, 6S, maybe 5 too, I don't know, but I race on 4, bash on 6, although even I find that this car on 6 is just insane. So most of the time, I'm running it on 4S. I'll do 6S for some speed runs. So I have been using this car quite a lot. Late spring, early summer, I bought this, brand new. There's the box right there. I've been racing it as well, racing it every week. I'm sort of known as the RTR racer. People don't call that to my face, but I know that they think it because I show up with these RTR vehicles and they're like, oh, what is he doing? Why doesn't he buy race cars? Well, it's because a real race car with this kind of system in it, this kind of a setup, would be twice the cost. If I was going to build out a Tekno EB48, it literally would cost me twice as much money. I don't think I would get twice the value out of it. I also enjoy being able to have the dual purpose of racing and bashing, so I appreciate the waterproofness. I appreciate some of the design decisions of making it a little bit beefier. You have seen it before in my unboxing. Again, it's a little bit dirty. They all get used and abused. I've got a 4-cell hard stick pack in here. I have done some upgrades, such as just recently I've done this front metal brace by GPM. I've learned now that GPM is probably the worst one I could have bought because it has the weakest metal, but it also was the cheapest metal one that I could find. Normally they're plastic braces like here. I broke the front one. Is there. I've recently replaced my servo because that was the other thing that happened. I did have a servo failure. I have not sent it back to Arrma yet, so I've replaced it with a Savox 1256 titanium gear servo. I have a bunch of different tires. These are basher tires that I got off Amazon. They're cool. They're like Badland knockoffs, so they're fun for bashing. I also have some on-road drift tires. I also have a few sets of race tires now. And the tires that it comes with, these ready-to-runs, are actually decent on the track. You can buy this box stock and run it on a track or bash it around. I've added a bigger wing. I'm gonna probably go back to the smaller wing. And then problems that I've had with this car, racing it every week, I broke the shock pistons. So the shock piston, it's the plastic disc inside that goes up and down the body. Snap them in half on both rears. Odd. Anyway, I don't know if it's weak plastic or what, but I have had to replace both of those. And just a quick mention about what I was talking about on the Cheetah. You see how this shock body has a collar at the top of it and a flat spot? That's so you can put a wrench on it and get the lid off. So things like that China manufacturer didn't think of or didn't care to do really make a big difference when you're working on your own vehicles. I have bought some 2018 goodies for this, which is the bigger radio tray so that I can actually put a lid on my receiver because like I said, I run Traxxas, as well as the servo mount. Servo mount on these Arrmas is notoriously weak. It does flex a lot, so I've got the beefier one. Chassis is holding up okay. It does get a lot of wear on the racetrack. Almost all the anodization is off, and it is wearing down quite a bit because it's not really designed for racing. So it's not the harder, better aluminum. It's just like stamped aluminum, not 7000 series aluminum. And as well as you can see here, the front of my chassis is like torqued a bit. So I got to bash that back down. But for a basher grade RC that is also holds its own on the racetrack, I really like the Arrma Typhon. Let me get to another new 2017 acquisition, the Traxxas Fortec 2.0. Very happy that Traxxas has finally come out with a new on-road car, the Fortec 2.0. It's got this really awesome 4GT body. They make it in a couple different variants now, but this was the original Fortec 2.0 that came out with the 4GT. Now there's a Mustang version. The Mustang one is a little bit lower end spec'd than this. This one has the TQI system. Mustang does not, as well as then there's a version higher than this, which is the VXL brushless, but the VXL brushless version doesn't come with a body. Anyway, very happy with this car. As you're seeing it now, it has had some mods, some upgrades done. The body is completely stock. I must say this body is very strong. I do like the body quite a bit. It's a shame to see it all scratched up like this, but they're meant to be used, not to be shelf queens, right? Well, here's my Traxxas Fortec 2.0. I have done some mods to it. I have the front STRC carbon graphite shock tower, front and rear. When I put these in, I had mentioned that I didn't really like them that much because they're heavier than stock. You know, I do like them, I just wish that they were lighter. Anyway, speaking about STRC, they do make some great stuff. I'm running their metal motor mount, the shock tower, and as I get some other vehicles that they make parts for, I am going to be picking up more STRC stuff from them. TeamSTRC.com is their website. Promo code for you if you use discount code Netcruzer, NETCRUZER. You'll get 25% off all stuff from their store. So check them out, STRC. Now, upgrades. Fairly stock when it comes to the drivetrain. I haven't had any issues with the gearing of the drivetrain or the diffs, and I've put a lot of power through it. I took out the stock brushed system, although I did run it through all of its paces. Go watch all my videos on this. I have a fairly significant playlist on this car too. And then I put in the Castle brushless system, the 5700 kV motor. Right now I've got it on the drift tires. These are not the tires that it comes with, but I have some extra tires for this as well. And the chassis is a modular design like the Slash 4x4 where the front and rear pop off the chassis, although nothing has broken on this where I've needed to do that. So I have not even taken it apart yet to look at that, how that works. Very strong car. This has been through some pretty hard tumbles and hits, you know, 100 kph, 60 mile an hour crash off of a speed bump. I have broken 0 parts on this car. I'm not lying. 0 parts broken. Really impressive, guys, really. If you're looking for an on-road, fun little car to rip around with, take a look at the Fortec 2.0. Why I like and have such a soft spot in my heart for the Fortec 2.0 is because I own a Fortec 1.0. This is my original Fortec. Right now it's got a racing BMW body on it right now. This is my original Fortec, and up until just last week it was usable and I had been racing it. Likely stupidly that I was racing this because it's an almost 20-year-old RC, but all the belts are good, the pulleys are good. Again, the pulleys are worn, it has vibrations, but it's a dual belt design, uses a stick pack. This is a kit from before Traxxas went all ready to run. I built this as a kit in 1998. Very cool. Yeah, it's all Phillips head screws, plastic top, graphite bottom. It's just an interesting car, and I must say that this old Fortec 2.0 is more race oriented than the new one. This was designed as an actual TRX Pro race car, and the new one is just the Fortec 2.0 is just a basher car that you could play around with on a track if you wanted to. Anyway, sad news is that I did last time I raced Onroad, I took it to the track, and you can see here this brake. It's not a good brake, guys. It's actually the chassis. Take a look at that. Check that out. It ripped the A-arm pin holder right off the chassis. But I don't really have much hope that it will be strong enough to ever race again, so it's likely becoming a shelf queen, which it deserves to be. It's a 20-year-old car, and I'll JB weld it together, but I don't think I'll be able to competitively race it anymore. That's my Fortec 1, and I have videos of this as well, so go check them out. I got this Team Durango, and I've been racing this in the faster stock series class, the 17.5 stock class. Stock, but it's our fastest class that we race for Onroad. And I've been happy with this car, although the last time I took it out, the problem with the Team Durango stuff is that parts availability is becoming very hard. So stupid for me for buying a Durango, but I knew that going in. I was hoping it would be strong, but when you're racing on-road in a cold gym where you're hitting hard plastics and hard cars, it's interesting the things that I'm breaking. Metal links are snapping, some other parts are breaking. Anyway, it just needs some minor repairs, but that's the Team Durango DETC 410, and I made a whole video of getting that car set up, so go check it out. Then we have some of the perks of becoming a YouTuber, where companies will reach out to you and say, hey, can we send you a product to review? So that is where this came from. The GL Toys, I think? GL Toys Luctan S912. I made a video of it. Ran it outside once or twice, and it's been kind of sitting ever since. It's very, it's toy grade that they are trying to pull off the hobby grade. It's got friction shocks. They say it has parts of support. It's a weirdly designed machine. Fun for kids, not for much else. It's like a step above Walmart quality, I guess. And yeah, there's not a whole lot. Look at the bouncing. Friction shocks. Don't buy RCs with friction shocks if you can avoid it. That's horrible. It's rear wheel drive, open diff, friction shocks. I'm being harsh on it, but they want over $100 for this thing. It's not worth it in my mind. Put some more money with it. You can buy a much better RC. Just hold on your money, save your money, get something that you're going to be happier with long term. My opinion, right? If you really like this thing, go ahead, buy it. I'm not stopping you. Now, obviously, my honest opinion of that video, as well as my unwillingness to give them a positive review on Amazon, burned my bridge with this company, and they'll never send me anything again. But I want to be honest to my audience, so hit that thumbs up like button if you appreciate that, because YouTube and doing RC stuff is very expensive. So when you get stuff for free, it's really nice. But I also don't want to just tell you something's great when I don't think it is. And I would rather give back to my audience. So I'm thinking around the, probably 4,000 to 5,000 sub mark. I'll be trying to give that away. We'll see what happens with that. Let's get into my most vintage car right now. This is my most rare RC. This is a Traxxas Blue Eagle LS2 TRX Pro competition kit, built from new in 1994, and raced and won. That's what these trophies are. I have more, but this was the winner for me. This was when I first started getting into competition racing. Really enjoyed it. This is a very unique RC, And quite a rare one too, in that they only made it for 1 year. I don't know why they killed it off so quickly, but after this came their SXT, I think, or SRX or something. Anyway, this is still set up in a fairly vintage manner where it's got a brushed... This is essentially how I used to race it. These packs here are the nickel cadmiums that I used to race with in the 90s. This is a Novak speed control. This is a Reedy Ultra Modified Brushed something or other, pink label Reedy motor. It's got the little slipper clutch system. The most unique thing about this vehicle was it had its Zero Flex chassis. It was an extremely stiff chassis for the time. There's almost no flex in it whatsoever, like even compared to cars today. So the battery sits down low on the bottom chassis. Extremely rigid chassis, really cool materials. It's like a mix of fiberglass and graphite. And also, this originally, when it was new, everything was white plastics. And I used to RIT dye my stuff because it made it black and looked cool, as well as it improved performance and made them more flexible. So all the plastics have been RIT dyed. It looks like in age it's coming off now. These shocks are all original, although I am running Losi springs, vintage. Again, everything in this car right now is vintage. Including the tires. These are the old original Traxxas dish racing rims that they used to use, as well as the Traxxas pin tires. Look at that. I think these are Losi front wheels. Yeah, these ones are Losis. Came with full ball bearings and stuff. This is the great grandfather of the current Rustler, and this car is essentially better built than a Rustler. There was a Traxxas Hawk, and then there was more Truggy. The Eagle, and then there was the Blue Eagle, and then there was this one, the Blue Eagle LS2. This was their top of the line racing program vehicle in 1994. Yeah. It's really cool. I'm glad that I kept it. This is also the original body, the nicest looking shell in 1994, in my opinion. Really liked it. Really had fun with this, and it was a winner for me, so really happy about that. Traxxas, the team to watch. Back when they used to have a racing team. Maybe when it dries up next year, we should get this out in a school parking lot or something and see what it can do. So I did have one other one, a little micro ECX kickflip that I gave away to one of my audience members as a contest for my 2,000 subscriber milestone. Right now we're at approaching 3,200 subscribers, so thank you very much for that. And we made some great gains this year, and I'm going to try and put together a best of for end of the year, for around New Year's. But carrying on with this vlog, the point of this vlog is to show you all of my Surface RCs. And there's one more that I haven't shown you. It's right down here behind me. It just came in the mail the other day, and it is used. It's a used car, but it's something that I had mentioned about it's related to the Slash 4x4 and how I said it doesn't really have a race geometry, and it's kind of limiting my race program right now. So I wanted to get a race spec short course truck. This is the Tekno SCT 410.3, and I got this from a Team Grumpy driver, so it was a Team Grumpy car. I got it used, and it's ready. It's got scratched up aluminum and stuff, but it's the 0.3. It has all the upgrades. It has carbon fiber shock towers and stuff. Let me just show you a quicker look at it up close here. Teknos are so new to me that I'm not even sure really what's an upgrade part and what's not. I also don't have the book, so I need to download the book or have the book sent to me. But I do know that the carbon shock towers are an upgrade. So it's got front and rear carbon shock towers. I'm not sure exactly what's been upgraded and what hasn't on this. Should be a significant upgrade from a Traxxas Slash 4x4 for my race program. So this is essentially a slider right now, but I do have a new body, as well as in this box here I do have a motor and electronics to put in it. I'm going to be running the Hobby Wing race setup, the one for short course trucks. So I think it's a 4,000 kV motor and their ESC. This is my new SCT 410.3. I'm excited to see what this is like on the track. Very excited to get that going. Did a lot of RCing this year, and I'm quite happy about what happened with my channel, what happened with racing and having fun with bashing with friends and stuff. So I'm just going to try and keep that trend going up in 2018. It does cost a lot to do this, guys. So I really appreciate all the support you can give me by either subbing if you're not, hitting that thumbs up button, as well as in almost all my videos I put links down in the bottom, which links to an Amazon store for Canada or US. And if you buy anything after clicking through a link, I make a small commission. So I don't do Patreon or any of that weird stuff where, you know, I'm begging you for money. I would prefer, if you're going to go to Amazon and you want to buy something, please go to one of my videos first, click a link before you buy, and then whatever you buy from Amazon, I'll make a small commission on. That really helps keep this channel going, because it's not just RCs, right? It's RCs, it's cameras, it's computers, it's all the stuff and the time. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate all you people who watch and subscribe and support me, as well as I do a lot of other social media stuff. I have a Facebook page, Netcruzer RC Tech Cars on Facebook, as well as I'm trying to grow my Instagram too. So I post a lot of pics on Instagram. I'm doing a bit more with the story stuff on Instagram. So yeah, thanks for watching and take care.